What if I told you luck is a conspiracy? Not in a dramatic, shadowy way, no secret meetings, no smoke-filled rooms, but in a quieter, more uncomfortable way, the kind where the real truth is boring, repetitive, and slightly inconvenient. Stick with me for a few minutes, because by the end of this video, you might start noticing that most of what we call luck isn't random at all. It's just preparation hiding in plain sight. The question we're really asking is this: is systematic preparation often mistaken for chance? And the honest answer is yes. Constantly, we mislabel it, misunderstand it, and then use that misunderstanding to either excuse our inaction or dismiss other people's effort. Calling something luck feels neutral, but it quietly shapes how we see success, failure, and our own agency. When someone says they were just lucky, what are they actually saying? Most of the time, they're saying, "I don't fully understand how that happened," or "I don't want to believe there was a process behind it." Luck becomes a placeholder explanation. It's emotionally efficient. You don't have to track timelines, habits, or invisible repetitions. You don't have to admit that outcomes might be influenced by things you could have done differently. If success is random, then failure feels safer, less personal, less demanding. Humans love clean stories. We're wired for them. We want beginnings, middles, and ends, heroes, turning points, breakthroughs. But real progress is rarely cinematic. It's lumpy. It's repetitive. It involves long stretches where nothing appears to be happening at all. So we compress those stretches out of the narrative. We skip the boring middle, and what's left looks like a miracle. That's how overnight success stories are born. Someone works quietly for 5, 10, 15 years. They fail repeatedly. They adjust. They build skills and relationships. Then one visible event finally breaks through: a viral post, a promotion, a discovery, a hit product. And because that's the first moment most people notice, it becomes the entire story. Luck fills in the gaps. A more useful way to think about luck is as a system, not a force. Imagine it as the interaction between preparation, opportunity, and randomness. Preparation is everything you do before anyone is watching: skills, practice, habits, resilience, the ability to recover from mistakes. Opportunity is exposure, where you place yourself, who you talk to, what rooms you enter, what platforms you use. Randomness is real. It's the part you can't predict or control, but it's not the whole picture. The key is that preparation and opportunity multiply each other. They don't just add up. If you have skill but no exposure, nothing happens. If you have exposure but no skill, nothing sticks. But once both exist, even small improvements compound. More preparation helps you recognize opportunity. More opportunity gives your preparation somewhere to land. From the outside, it looks like luck. From the inside, it feels like momentum. This is where psychology comes in, because our brains actively work against seeing this clearly. Survivorship bias means we only notice the people who succeeded, not the hundreds who tried and didn't. Hindsight bias makes outcomes feel inevitable after the fact. Attribution bias pushes us towards simple explanations instead of accurate ones. Saying they were lucky is easier than saying they showed up consistently for years and survived long enough for probability to swing their way. Think about creative careers. A musician posts one song and suddenly gets attention. People say they blew up overnight, but that one song came after years of practice, hundreds of discarded drafts, and an intuition for what works that only comes from repetition. The viral moment was random. The ability to capitalize on a WAS in single quotes T. The same pattern shows up in careers, relationships, business, and even personal growth. Someone meets a future employer at a party and gets a job. That's called luck. But they also chose to attend the party, talk to strangers, and have something to offer. Someone starts a company and gets press coverage. That's called timing. But they also shipped early, iterated publicly, and built relationships with people who tell stories for a living. Someone's post goes viral. That's chance. But posting consistently increases the number of chances you get. Quantity matters more than we like to admit. Every attempt is a dice roll. The more you roll, the more likely you are to hit something. Preparation doesn't guarantee success, but it increases the probability that randomness intersects with you in a useful way. And probability, given enough time, starts to look like destiny. Here's a moment to pause and reflect. Think about something in your own life that you've labeled as luck. A job you got, a person you met, a break that changed your direction. If you trace it backward honestly, you'll almost always find a chain of small and glamorous actions that made that moment possible. You didn't just stumble into it. You were moving. Let's make this tangible. Here's a simple experiment you can do that turns this idea from theory into practice. Write down one small skill you could practice consistently for the next 2 weeks. Not something dramatic, something boring but compounding. Then write down one exposure action you can take this week, one place you can show up, one person you can reach out to, one thing you can publish or share. Finally, schedule the first step, put it on your calendar. This matters more than motivation. What you've just done is separate hope from mechanics. You're no longer waiting to be chosen. You're increasing the number of ways you can be noticed, selected, or aligned with opportunity. That's how luck is manufactured. There are a few reliable ways to design more of this kind of luck. The first is volume paired with feedback. Produce more than feels comfortable. Learn what works and adjust. Volume creates chances. Feedback improves quality. The second is network density. Not shallow networking, not clout chasing. Real connections across different groups. One genuine outreach a week compounds faster than most people expect. The third is optionality. Instead of betting everything on one fragile plan, build multiple small pots. That way, when randomness shows up, there's somewhere for it to land. Here's the part people don't like hearing. This work is boring. It doesn't feel inspirational. There's no dramatic before and after moment while you're in it. That's exactly why, when success finally becomes visible, people call it luck. They didn't see the system quietly running in the background. To be clear, randomness is real. Some events truly are outside your control, but even then, preparation determines what happens next. Two people can receive the same opportunity. One panics, one compounds it, same luck, different outcomes. There's also an ethical line here that matters. This framework is not about blaming people who don't succeed. Structural inequalities are real. Access to time, money, education, and safety matters. Geography matters. This model describes how outcomes often work, not how they morally should. It's a map, not a judgment. It works the other way too. If you've done the work, you're allowed to acknowledge it. You don't have to downplay your effort by calling it luck, and if chance played a role, you can be grateful without pretending it was destiny. Both can be true at the same time. So instead of using luck as an excuse or a dismissal, use it as a question. When you see someone succeed, ask what they did repeatedly, where they placed themselves, and how they increased their odds. Envy turns into information. Mystique turns into method. So is systematic preparation often mistaken for chance? Absolutely. And once you see it, you start to notice it everywhere. The universe is part chaos and part pattern. You can't control the chaos, but you can stack the deck. Show up consistently. Practice when no one's watching. Increase your surface area. And when randomness knocks, make sure you're ready to open the door. If this reframed how you think about luck even a little, consider subscribing. And if you try the small experiment, I'd genuinely love to hear how it goes. Because the funny thing about luck is that once you stop waiting for it, it starts showing up more often.